Ashley, what do we got?
All right, first one is from Todd Spradlin. Hi, John, longtime listener here. First off, thanks to you, Robert and Ashley, for riding shotgun with me every day. So, the good Lord knows I've been waiting for another Masters of the Universe movie since I was 10.
Praise be.
Recent reports suggest that filming will begin soon, but I believe it when I see it. Are these recent reports reliable, and will we ever get to see another Masters of the Universe movie?
Well, that's a great question. I'm not sure, but it does look like things are moving in the right direction. Okay, so first things first. So a little while ago, we heard news, because they've been trying to get this movie going for years now, right? And they've had several different directors attached, several different screenplays written, including the first one that they wrote was by David S. Goyer. So the guy who helped the Nolan brothers write all the Dark Knight films. So he wrote the original script. Now, just recently, though, they announced they have hired new writers to come. So the project was still alive. They've hired new writers to come in, and that's Art McCarm and Matt Holloway, who also worked on like Iron Man and the upcoming Men in Black International movie with Chris Hemsworth. So they wrote that as well. They're now writing the script for this movie. Now, though, it looks like it's gone one step further. The publication Production Weekly has now put out that they're going to start shooting this movie this summer. Here's what Production Weekly said. Updated production schedule and location for Sony's Masters of the Universe from the directing duo of Aaron and Adam Nee. Principal photography is due to get underway mid-July. February, March, April, May, June, July. That means they are shooting this movie in like 5 months. They're shooting this movie in 5 months, according to Production Weekly. No reason to doubt that. Now, again, the one thing lending more credit to this is the fact that we do know that the studio announced they brought in new screenwriters, so the production was still going. But if this thing's coming out in 5 months, or it's going to start shooting in 5 months, you would think we'd start hearing some castings soon here. Robert, let me ask you this. What do you think, even just in the principle of having a He-Man Masters of the Universe movie at this time? And would you be looking forward to something like this?
Well, if Man-E Faces
isn't
in the movie, I'm not going to watch it. No, I've read a couple of. There was a great script floating around about 15 years ago called Gray Skull that was written by Mark Prasevich. I think Prasevich is how it was really good, and it was it was a sci-fi epic. And I'm like, this is, I remember, this is sort of funny. I bought the very first line of He-Man toys. And I know exactly when I bought them. I bought them on June 4th, 1982. And I know that because I bought them before I went to wait in line to see Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. And there was no cartoon series. There was nothing. There was just these figures. And I thought the way they were, big and kind of blocky, and those first, you had like Skeletor and He-Man and I think there was Merman and Man-at-Arms. And I was like, these are really cool. I didn't know anything about them, and there was no animated show, so I didn't know what was supposed to happen with them, and I didn't know where they came from. But I've always had an affinity for He-Man because of that. I could never watch the cartoon. The cartoon was brain dead stupid to me, and I just couldn't get through it. One episode, I like the guy who did He-Man and the voice actor, but man, that show was tough to watch. But I think the movie, based on the script that I read, could be really cool. So I'm kind of excited. I want to see the Land of Eternia.
I kind of grew up watching He-Man like a lot of people did. I grew up watching
Battle Cat. Look at how rad Battle Cat is.
And remember, about 3 years ago, they were still trying to get this movie, and they even had CGI concept of what Battle Cat was going to look like. Remember, that stuff all hit online, and everybody freaked out. Christian Harloff, a mutual friend of ours, who I worked with for years, he used to say, and I agree with him, he used to say that, here's how you approach a He-Man movie. Cross Star Wars with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And that's your starting premise with He-Man. And if they can do something like that, I think it'll be great. Now, a lot of people, when they think of He-Man, they're going to go back and think, in terms of the Dolph Lundgren film. And that's a little unfortunate, other than the fact that I believe Courtney Cox was in that and looked so good in that. Anyway, so other than that, but hey, listen, I'm all for this. If they are actually going to start shooting, it's about damn time, because it's getting that point of, shit or get off the pot, as my dad used to say. It's just like, look, either do this or don't do it. This whole toying with us for the last umpteen years about this has got to go. So get this thing going, and then we can start talking about Thundercats.